Okay, so I'm a little in advance, but I think we can still start. Can somebody confirm that you can hear me? Okay, so I'm a little in advance, but I think we can still start. Okay, I think it's working. It's not super practical because I only have one screen. I don't have a proper streaming setup for my workbench and stuff. So I'm doing everything from my laptop. But hopefully that will be good enough. So let me switch over to the camera view. I can find this. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So this is, I'll try to keep an eye on the chat, but that won't be easy. Okay. Let me take the chips. So these are the chips that I received from IHP. Actually, let me just check the focus. I'm not sure I'm actually focused properly. No, never mind. I'm okay. IHP didn't start TinyTapeout, but we started taping out TinyTapeout on IHP. This is really just a test chip. So this is what I received. Let me open it. If you've seen, there is I made a quick unboxing video. So it's a gel pack, and you can see 3 ICs. 2 of them are still open. They haven't been blobbed over, and so you can see the wire bond and stuff. I've got some macro photo of that you can see in the Bringup video. And the other 2 have been closed. And there was a third one which I have now assembled on this, which is a TinyTapeout 6 breakout board, simply because that test chip has been made with the same pinouts as the previous TT chips. So I can just reuse that board for testing. It's just an easy way to test. One problem with that breakout is that it has a bug where the control lines are swapped. So I just made a custom firmware for the demo board, which basically compensates for that. But before I even attempt to apply power to that, there's a couple of tests that I want to do. Because I won't just plug that in the board. I want to slowly bring power and stuff. So I will actually power my power supply. Hopefully that's not too loud. Okay, that might actually be a bit loud. Yes, it's basically a smoke test. And so this chip doesn't actually have like the normal, MUX infrastructure with the block manually placed and routed and stuff like that. This chip is really just early test because we had not that much time to make it. And so it's been mostly done by Tamash. And what he did is basically take a few like interesting projects from previous TinyTapeouts, some digital only projects, and basically merged them into a single RTL blob and then hardened all of that as a single chip, all in one logic thing. It's mostly for us to test that the flow generates, that the chips are not DOA basically. It's not going to test much of the muxing of TinyTapeout and stuff like that, but it allows us to test the IOs and that the standard library behaves, and that we can somewhat correlate like the timing that we see in the star with what we observe on the chip, for instance. So so the first thing I wanted to do is diode check. So what I'm gonna check is that I don't have first a short between the power rails and ground. And secondly, I'm gonna test that I can see the ESD diodes between all the IOs that I expect to see it on. So this is ground. This is gonna be 3.3 volts. So I'm seeing a diode drop and not a short circuit. So the IO voltage isn't shorted to ground. That's good. This is the digital core voltage. Again, I'm seeing a diode drop. So I'm seeing the ESD diode, but not a short circuit. So the power rails are not shorted, at least. Let's see. Let's make sure they are not shorted together either. So far, so good. So now what I can do is test the IOs. Now, unfortunately, I don't have... That's something that would be convenient, is that I have the which pin is which on the top, but I have no way to access the pins on the top, really. I mean, I guess I can... yeah, not really. So what I will do... I have another of those boards. I'm gonna use it as a reference, basically. So I'm gonna flip this over like this. I'm trying not to keep my hands too much in front, but it's not always easy. And then I'm gonna check that every IO has connection. So this should be ground. Ground, yeah. That's C increment, and I'm seeing a diode drop, so that's expected. Ground. VCCD, but it's not connected. In 0, again, I see a diode drop. In 1, a diode drop. In 3, yeah, ground. In 4. In 5, then ground, ground, ground. Basically ground all the way until, wait, here I have bidirectional 0, ground, project clock, yes, okay. So what I'm checking now is that I'm seeing a diode drop between the ground and each of the IO to make sure that mostly that mostly to check my soldering, but it also checks that the connection between the pad goes to sort of what we expect it to go. I'm gonna try to quickly test that for the other row of pin. Yeah, it might not be very visible what I'm doing, but so this should be C enable, yeah, C reset. That's not connected, that's not connected, that's not connected, that's ground. Ground in 2. In 6, ground. Then the bunch of analog pins, and there's only at the bottom we have bidirectional, yes, ground, and then P resets, and then in 7. Yes, okay, so everything's good. Can test the other side. This is gonna be ground, ground, nothing. I'm gonna start from the bottom actually, so there should be ground, bidirectional. Wait. It's not easy to not keep my hands too much in the way. Bidirectional 2, ground, by 4, by 6, ground, out 0, out 2, ground, ground, another output, and then out 6. So here I'm good. That just leaves 1 row to test. It's not easy to keep stuff connected. So, oh, am I oriented now? So, okay, so that's VDDA, VDDIO, then ground, 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 a bunch of ground stuck on the bottom. Ground by 3, ground by 5, by 7, ground, out 1, out 3, ground, out 5, out 7, and then the rest are grounds. Okay, so I have observed an ESD diodes on every pins, on every IO pins, which is basically what I'm expecting to see. So at least there is no short on that front. I'm gonna apply IO voltage and core voltage without connecting the board to anything, just using the power supply, just to check the power consumption is within what I expect it to be. So let me configure the power supply. So I'm gonna supply 3.3 volts. I'm gonna limit that to 10 milliamp, and I'm gonna do this, so you know, 1.2 volt, which is the core voltage, and I'm gonna limit that to 10 milliamp as well. So that's fine. So it's gonna be my core voltage. Let's just go between ground and VCCD. Everything is off, yeah. I'm gonna connect this. Is gonna be my IO voltage, 3.3 volts. Ground. You probably can't read the power supply from here though. Make a test bench that check out these things? What do you mean? Like, I'm not gonna build a contraption just for a single test. Like, that's something we do, like, you know, once every 6 months, and it takes me literally 10 minutes. So it's not oh wait, so I have actually no pins to connect the IO voltage because I didn't put a pin header to connect the VDDIO. Let me. So I have a VDDIO here. I'm gonna connect it like that. VDDIO. Okay. I should be good there. So let me enable 3.3 volts. Yes, I mean, we do use the Pi to test the chip functionality, but here it's really testing more than that, is because we have no idea what that chip is. I mean, that's the first time we tape out with them, so I want to do much more low-level tests that we usually don't do. During production, there is an automated test where when the chips are assembled, they're tested by the Pico and stuff like that. But here, I'm testing much more low-level things to make sure nothing was screwed up during the production of the chip and the flow and stuff like that. A bunch of tests that we usually don't do. We only do them basically when we change a lot of stuff in the chip design. Okay, so let's start with core voltage. Okay, 2 milliamps. That looks fine. I mean, it's 2 milliamps measured by my power supply, so I wouldn't exactly trust it as far as a precision goes. I just want to make sure it's not shorted, basically. And 3.3 volt using nothing. Okay, good. So I think we're good on that. So I think now we can actually plug that into the Pico and do the tests using this. Now, the Pico doesn't actually provide the core power because that board is meant to provide 1.8 volts, and and not 1.2 like the IHP process wants. So I will put that on. Okay, so we're good on that front. Next, I still need to provide core power. So I will ground. I might actually put a multimeter to measure the core currents a little more precisely. So let me get that out. Set that up. Milliamp. Don't need this anymore, but I need sorry, I'm just connecting multimeter in series. To measure the currents. So we should be good. I can enable power. No, let me plug it first and then enable core power. This and then enable core power. Okay, so my okay, you might, I'm not sure if you can read that. It's reading about 2 milliamp. So my power supply was actually pretty good. Now I will need to share my screen and go to the commander to see what's going on and if by any chance it's detected or not. So let me do that. Okay, let's go to this. Okay, that's a bad start. Why does my board require a firmware update? I just updated it. Fuck. So we're hit with a software problem? So the thing is, I just flashed it with a firmware, but it's a custom firmware because I need a custom firmware to basically force the swap. And I'm guessing the commander is somehow matching my version string to some hard-coded list he has. And yeah, it doesn't like my firmware. Okay. Maybe I can not use the commander then. Yeah, okay, I need to close it because it's trying to use the... How do you configure the parameters already? No. Ah, but no, flow control is disabled. Okay, the board isn't responding to anything. That's not good. Yeah, of course, the issue in a hardware Bringup is not the hardware, it's the software. So let me shut down core power. Let me disconnect this. I'll remove the board and just try, because the demo board should work without the carrier. So I want to check that actually works. Yeah, removing those boards is a challenge if you don't want to completely break them. Okay. So I should still have MicroPython on this board. Okay. So I do have MicroPython on this board. Ah, yeah, but see, it says like TTSDK version 0.0.0, which is probably why it doesn't like, why the commander doesn't like it. Fuck. Ah, okay. Debugging, like that's what I did, is like I just quickly pushed something on MicroPython firmware, hoping that it would work. I'll just flash the default firmware. Let me actually go back to that. I'll just flash the default firmware on the board, and we won't be able to select other projects because the selection mechanism is fucked up, but at least the commander should recognize it. And I should be able to read the ROM at the very least, which is project 0, which is the default one which is selected. If that works, it's already a good sign. I won't be able to select anything else because, yeah. But so let me do that quickly. I need to press the boot thingy, connect the board. Sorry, I'm just flashing the board. Flashing. Come on. You can do it. Okay, it's flashed. I can disconnect it. I will put the module back. Okay, and then I need to reconnect grounds. And then core power. Oh, sorry, core power goes here. Okay. So now I'm gonna re-enable core power and connect the board. It's using 2 milliamps, which is more or less what I expect. Now let me share my screen again, if I find the correct window. Okay. And now we're gonna go to the TT commander again. Let's try that. Okay. It detected the shuttle, TT IHP 0.1. So it managed to read the ROM. So that's very good sign. Now, as I said, the problem is I can't select any other projects because the selection lines are swapped, and if I try to generate a firmware myself, the commander doesn't recognize it and doesn't let me use it. Maybe Yuri knows workaround for that. Give me a second. I will ping him, but I don't want to share my chat, so just go to the camera. I'm just asking Yuri, who wrote the commander and did all that stuff, what's the easiest way to basically enable that workaround without, yeah. I don't know if he's in the chat. I don't think. Honestly, I have no idea how the firmware side of things work, and I just yeah. Let me try something and see if he answers. Can I actually open? Yeah, I really need multiple screen to stream. It's kind of annoying to only have one. So let me, yeah, reshare my screen. So I'm gonna do this. So yeah, what I did is that when I just cloned the repository myself. And then pushed it, and then when you push it, it automatically runs an action that generates firmware, and then I push that. But unfortunately, that doesn't look like it's enough. But maybe what I can do is tag it. So that's my repository. If I go to tag, I'm gonna tag it 205. Okay. I'm gonna push it on main, on my repository. Where do I have? Okay, here. So my hope is that this actually will identify itself as 2.05. So what Ulrich told me, you also need to include the TT-IHP 0.1 shuttle index. Okay, I have no idea what that means. Ooh, okay, it created a... Yeah, it failed, but it failed the test. It still made something. So I'm just gonna download this. Yes, I want to replace that file. And I'm gonna unzip that file. Let's try to reboot this. Copy demo. IP 2040 main that you have used instrument USB, U mount. Ah, here is busy. Okay. Let's see if that works. Because I thought that the shuttle inside the firmware, the shuttle index inside the firmware was also only needed for the SDK to recognize it, but that the commander had his own index independent, and so that it should work. No, it's complaining that yeah. Yeah, that doesn't help me. Also, I don't know why it doesn't work. Like, I don't even have a shell here. Like, I can't type anything. Can I reset this? Oh, okay, I do have a shell here. Okay, so it's the commander that puts it in some weird state where I don't have a shell. Yeah, let me message Uri because... Okay, so what can we do from the shell? Yeah, Matthew, you send a link to the index, but the thing is, I don't think the index is the problem. Is the commander basically checks the version of the SDK, and because my version of the firmware is some unofficial one, it doesn't have a version, and so it doesn't identify it as an official SDK version. And before you would just get like a warning or something, but now you get a page upgrade, or you have no choice, you need to upgrade basically. And so it doesn't let me do anything. Honestly, I don't know. I never used um, the RPL, so I'm not even sure how you select a project or anything. I've never used the thing before. Let me increase the font size maybe so you can read. So it recognized that it's TTIHP 1, 0.1 at least, but oh, that's shutter. Okay. Okay, that doesn't. Sorry guys, I have no idea how the fuck this thing works. I was kind of expecting the commander to just work and not, yeah, block me like that. TTUM and tab. TTUM, there's nothing. If I press TTUM and tab, it doesn't offer me anything. So I think that might be because I don't have the shutter index, but where do I need to put it? Like, why? I would expect the GitHub action that generates the stuff to generate the thing. That's kind of what I expected, but apparently not. So Mike, there is a shutter index. There is a ROM inside, and it's selected, and it works. Like it can detect that it's this one, but when I try to use the commander doesn't detect the firmware version because it somehow detects that it's version 0.0.0.0 and just tell me that I need to upgrade. And if I try to use the REPL here, then the UF2 apparently doesn't have the shuttle index built in, and I have no idea how to add it because like I'm relying on the GitHub action to generate a ready-to-use UF2. I don't have any of the tools or stuff to compile that locally. So if the action doesn't do it, there's nothing I can really do. I expected the GitHub action to do everything because as far as I know, that's what builds the release that we give to people, right? So so there must be a way to enable the project by number rather than how do you do that? I thought it was enable and that you just selected, but it says int doesn't have a attribute name, so like design index 0 project, okay. I just want to manually select a project from like by number. Like how the fuck do I do that? Okay, so you need to index. Okay, that I can do then. Let's go tt.shuttle1.enable. Yeah, that's probably it still needs an index to enable even when you give it the number. Like why? Why? Uh okay, let me reflash the firmware that actually does something. So I need to reset this into bootloader mode. Wait, yes, and then I mount. Okay, now I need to wait for it to flash. Okay. Because here, if I select a project, that's not gonna do anything. Oh wait, it doesn't even work even in the commander. Never mind. I thought the commander didn't need the shuttle index, like. Yeah, the latest version of the commander uses, yeah, but honestly, like, if you have the project like, if you have project number, you shouldn't need an index to do anything. Like, it just needs to pulse the thing that many times. That's all I'm asking it to do. It's really... Okay, I think I'm just gonna kill this thing and just manually pulse the thing with the shell, and don't use the SDK, don't use the commander, don't use any of that thing. For some reason, the REPL doesn't work once you use the commander. Where are the pins? Okay, and C resets. So wait, which one are inverted? I think it's reset and increment are inverted, if I remember correctly. Yes. So I need to put C cell. How did you name C inc? Okay, C inc dot mode equal tt dot pins in that. I don't know. Is there a on off? Okay, what? Okay, so it's already an output. And I want it to be high, so the reset is high. Okay, and then I want the C resets. Of course, it didn't name it C resets. What is it named now? Oh crap. Apparently when you shut down the meter, it shuts down the current path for some reason. So NC resets. NC resets. So that is an output already, and currently it is. How can I see the status of the pin? I don't know. Value. Okay, so currently it's 1, and I need to generate a rising edge on it. So I'm gonna do off or low. High. Okay. Clock project PWM. Change which line? Hi. Yeah, Uri, I have no idea what you're talking about. Which line? So apparently either the project wasn't selected or I screwed up something. Because the output should be toggling. Let me check what I can see here. Oh, wait. EN is low. Okay. Did that do anything? Okay, at least it's high. That is high. That's high. Do we have a clock? The clock is here. I have a clock. Do I have a reset signal? Sort of. Let me restart that. See that low. So NI is low. NC reset. I'm gonna put it low. So despite it being named NC reset, it's actually not the reset. It's the NI because they're swapped on the board. And and C ink, that's the actual reset, and that I will put it low. Okay, now I'm releasing the reset by putting it high. And now I'm generating a high pulse on the increment. And now I'm rising CNA. So well, that doesn't seem to be working, but maybe I'm doing something wrong. GitHub workflow release line 9 of my flow. Okay. So GitHub workflows line 9. Okay, TinyTapeout IHP 0.1. TTAHP. Okay, and how do I get it? How do I get the commander to recognize my custom version? Because that's the other problem, is that it does not, when I push it, the UF2, when I flash it, the commander refuses to do anything. Like, it doesn't recognize that it's a valid version. Is that something here too, the version? How does the SDK know? Yeah, obviously I don't want to update a release, that I don't care. Yeah, that's what I did, is I created a tag. Let me add this. Okay, git tag. I'm gonna create git tag. Okay, let's see. Ah, fuck. Okay, while it builds, I need to change the battery in my light, apparently, because the battery ran out. Okay, so it created a firmware. Let's flash that. I'm just gonna override this, save, replace, unzip, override, yes. I need to reset this. What happened here? Oh, apparently I didn't press the button correctly. Wait, what should I call release v 2.04? Okay, let's see if that works better. Can I reboot this? Okay. No, it doesn't. Like it, or maybe it didn't push the tags? Oh yes, it didn't push the tags. That might be a problem. Um, okay, now it pushed the tags. So I can force rerun this thing. No, I don't want the detail. I don't want the detail. Let me re-reboot this in... Oh, wait. Okay. If you didn't notice, now it shows T. So I think that... Because it wasn't doing that before. I don't remember if it needs to be able to select the other project to be able to do that. Oh wait, I just realized I wasn't on the camera. Let me just show the camera. Here it shows T while before it didn't. And I don't think that's the ROM reading. I think that's it uses the loop back or something of the factory test to be able to do that. So that would mean that first it has the index and managed to select it at least. I think. Okay. I have a release, which hopefully is properly tagged now. So I need to reboot it in bootloader mode again. I think that's correct. I downloaded it, right? D7B, D7B, okay, okay. Oh, okay. It's copying the firmware again. Okay, it's copied the firmware. So let me reboot again. Chops. No, okay. So he said create a. Okay, okay. Yeah, the commander. Yeah, I don't know what the commander does, but I can't use the terminal once the commander did something. It's kind of annoying. I need to reset it every time. Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't realize that it was hiding the... That's not what I wanted to move. Okay. Sorry about that. So release v 2.0.4. Okay. Let's see if the commander is happier now. Fantastic. Finally. Okay. So the factory test is selected. I will send the clock, and I think I need to do this. No? How do I get the counter mode on the select? Set. Let me just select random project. Okay, something's wrong. Something is weird. I'm starting to wonder if Oh, I'm an idiot. So this is, let me switch to the camera. That's my TT06 breakout board. And it's one that I assembled a while ago when we received the TT06 chip to test them. And the first batch of breakout board that we produced for TT06 had a bug where the line reset and increment were swapped. And so to make it work, I actually had to rework the board. Here I swapped the two lines. And that's how I made it work. Now, before we actually assembled those boards with the final chips, that was fixed and a new batch of breakout board was produced. And that's what people got, is the fixed version, basically, of the board. Now, that problem happened again in TT07 because when the Gerbers for TT07 were created, they were created from the old version of the breakout board, the TT06, which had the swap bug. Unfortunately, at that point, the chips had already been assembled on all of them before that was noticed. And so the firmware of the demo board was adapted to deal with that. Anyway, but long story short is that I have TT06 breakout boards which have the bugs. But apparently, and that's why when I assembled this chip on a TT06 board that I had, I thought I needed to switch the lines because my boards have the bug. And either I need to fix it in firmware or I need to rework the traces on the back. And I wanted to just use the firmware fix. But apparently, I also have blank TT06 boards which don't have the bug because they're version 1.1. And that's apparently, I didn't know I had these, actually. I thought that all the breakout boards that I had the bug. But apparently I have blank's version 1.1 of the breakout board, which means I never needed the fix in the first place, which means I spent the last 45 minutes doing completely useless works because I could have just used the 2.04 firmware since the beginning. So that's very embarrassing. So let me flash the actual version 2.04 firmware. Wait, but will that 2.04 firmware have the support for the IHP? Yes, it will. USB. Yes, that's just. I thought that all the breakouts that I had the bugs because I have this one and I also have these. These are blank TT07 ones, and those definitely have the bugs because we never produced TT07 breakouts which don't have the bug. So these definitely have the bug. But I picked that one because I thought the traces would be easier to see on that color of PCB, but honestly, it turns out that they're hard to see on both color. Like those pretty PCBs, they're nice, but when you need to manually rework or debug stuff, it's actually pretty hard to see the traces. Yeah. Anyway, I'm flashing the firmware. Okay, I've just flashed the firmware. Let me share my screen again. So should I be able to just connect to the board now? Okay, and so now if I select the factory test, let me actually maybe kill the light so that you can see the 7-segment display a bit better, maybe. Oh wait, no. No, it doesn't have the index. Okay, so I can't use the official 2.04 because the official 2.04 doesn't have the TTH P01 index. Okay, that's good to know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna revert this. So I do need a custom version of the firmware. Wait, I just pushed, didn't I? No. So let me actually reboot that thing again. Come on. Human to USB, come on. Synchronize. Damn, flashing firmware is slow. Okay. Okay. I know it works. Let me switch to the camera. Hopefully you can see the test thingy, the factory test actually running. Oh my god, that took forever. I'm sorry for the mix-up, but I mean, in the end, I would have needed to be able to build a custom firmware version anyway. But yeah, let's test some of the other projects. Let me see what we have on there that I can easily test. Let me share my desktop again. Okay. Honestly, I don't know the project. I didn't actually check them before. So we have a VGA project that might be easy enough to test, at least to see something. Ah, we have Reebok 0. Tiny breakouts. Oh, we have the VGA clock. We can test the VGA clock. Let's test that. I'm actually gonna power on the scope. Okay, I can't power on the scope because apparently I've disconnected the scope from power. Yeah, okay, that's fine. How do I? That's fine. Wait, no. So I've selected that project. Let me zoom on the camera. I should be able to at least see the should have been able to see something here. Let me check I have clock. No, I do not. That's probably my problem here. No, my problem is that I'm using the blue probe and I have the yellow probe displayed. So I do have a clock. That looks like something. What is the... So I'm just checking the pinout. So I should see H sync on output 0. So that should be... Okay, so that's H sync. Measure... That's way too fast. What is my clock? 31.5. Yes, that's correct. That should be H sync. Oh wait, no. It has like 2 different types of supported P mods. And I'm guessing that I'm in the wrong mode. So I need to maybe assert you are in 3. Okay, and now I get nothing. Do I need to reset? Oh wait, it deselected the project. Okay, so now I get something else. But that's not stable. Yeah, that's what I did, but that did not. I used like UI in 3. Okay, no, that seems to work now. Now, yeah, no, I have a 37 kilohertz H-sync. That looks correct. And so this should be V-sync. And that is at 72 hertz. So that looks correct. Okay. So that seems okay. Yuri said there was his project, Simon Says should be on there. I do have the appropriate PMOD somewhere. I just need to find it. Which... I'm just digging through my, yeah, okay. I found the PMOD. So that's the PMOD from Yuri for the Simon Says game. So let me select that. I'm not checking my screen, but I'm just going to the commander and then finding Simon Says. And then clicking select and set. And then I'm going to plug this in. Okay, plugging 3 PMODs at once. Okay, I had to reset it because else it was doing random things, but it seems to be doing what I think it should be doing. Yes, Matthew, you just pointed it out that you need a reset to, yeah. The score seems a bit weird because I'm only seeing 0. Okay, I think it's a bad contact somewhere in my PMOD. So no, it displays correctly 5. Oh, you can't hear the sound? Okay, so that seems to work fine. So that's good. The what I might want to test, so let me disconnect that. Yeah, putting on PMODs is fun. Okay. I do have a VGA PMOD, so I can actually connect data, but I don't have VGA monitor handy. Unfortunately, I should have prepared that before, but it's okay. At least it works. Something else I wanted to have a quick look at. If there is something else that you want me to test, put it in the chat. Something I wanted to check was just the speed of the I/O, just simply. And for that, I need the factory test. Factory test, select, and I'm gonna inject a 10 megahertz clock. Set. And I think I need UI 0 set to, yeah. Okay. And here I should be able to look at the various IOs. Okay, yeah. So I'm not sure how well, wait, I might actually be able to connect to my scope and take a screenshot. Oh, wait, I need to actually be on there. Okay. I'm gonna share that. So that's the screenshot I took. It's a 5 megahertz square wave, and as you can see, the IOs are pretty slow. That's because on TinyTapeout 0.1 we use, so there is a different variants of the IHP IO. Like if we go in the SDK and in the IO library, where are they? Ref IO lib. Oh wait, you can't actually see them. You need to load the GDS. Yeah. Anyway, there's several variants of the IO, and there's a 4 milliamp one, a 16 milliamp one, and a 30 milliamp one. And for this shuttle, we used the 4 milliamp one because I thought that 4 milliamp meant that it was capable of driving 4 milliamp while still maintaining its specification. You know, still outputting a VOH CMOS compatible, so like 2.8 volts or something at 4 milliamp. But turns out that 4 milliamp means that its short circuit current is 4 milliamp. And so they're actually much weaker than I thought they were. And so they can't actually toggle all that fast. That's something that is going to be fixed on the April shuttle. TT IHP 25A is using stronger buffer, the 16 milliamp version, which should hopefully be much faster. One thing that I want to do is to take more precise measurements of the outputs of this one and compare them with simulation, so that to see how close the simulation is going to be from what we're going to get on those 25A shuttle chips, basically. K and V, I have no idea how to even test that, so yeah. Yes, TTIHP 0.2 is also using the slow buffer, unfortunately. So that's gonna have the same limitations. I can try Flappy VGA, but I don't have give me a second, I might have a VGA cable somewhere. So I have this thing, which I have never tried, which is a VGA cable to HDMI. So hopefully that will convert the VGA from the PMOD to an HDMI signal. So I have this, which is a miniature HDMI screen. If I manage to put the battery in it. Okay. So HDMI in. So it needs power from USB. So I think I'm just gonna use my scope as a power supply. And I need a VGA PMOD. So let's see, I'm in the commander. Let's select the VGA clock first. Okay, and we have the time. Somewhat. Okay, it's upside down. Okay, I need to. Trying to get this to stay in place somewhat, but it's not. Okay. Yeah, don't. You see some things there. Don't pay attention. Like that's the image histogram, because that screen is like a. It's a camera monitor screen, so it has like display for the color histogram and sound level and stuff like that. So there is like some display, which are unrelated. But you can see the VGA clock up, hopefully. So let me try some no time for square apparently is also. So let's try that. No time for squares. Ah, yes, that's on the triangle clock things. Well, it works. Congratulations, Tommy. I can try VGA Flappy Bird, Flappy VGA. So how do I play? I think I need yeah, so it works. I'm terrible at it because I can't even pass the first thing, but it works. I yeah, I don't think those are on there's VG Experiments by also Tommy. But that doesn't seem to. Okay, that might. Yeah, I think that's not compatible with the P mod. That's not compatible with that P mod. We have the VJ Dino game. Okay, yes, the Dino game I mean, it's started. Okay, I've got something weird is that every time I go and enable UI in from the interact tab, it resets the project, I think. Yeah, I'm about as good as the Dino game as I am in Flappy Bird. One sprite pony. Let's see, what was that? One sprite pony. Is selected? Yes, okay, that works. I mean, at least it does something. I don't know what other function it has. Apparently, it has support for some SPI thing, but I don't know how to control it or anything. I'm assuming maybe you can upload another sprite or something. Project 101. I don't see a project 101. There is no project 101. Are you sure it's done that shuttle? Oh, that's Raybox 0, which honestly looks a bit weird, but okay, no, never mind. I think it just needed a reset. Ah, yeah. I remember that you need to enable something to get generated texture. I don't remember what. Okay, yes, that seems to work. At some point, I need to try the because I think there is yes. Okay, so there is the Kian Micro Linux sock, but I've never booted it, so I don't really know how it works and stuff like that. And Michael Bell Risk Vive Nano, but because the I/O are pretty slow, those will need to be clocked pretty slow, probably for the SPI to work. Tiny breakout, what does that do? I think it's also oh crap, I disconnected from the board instead of but Tiny Breakout I think doesn't use the same pinout. I don't think it uses the pinout of the thing, the pinout of the PMod that I'm using, the official TinyTapeout VGA pinout. Yeah, there's a bunch of other projects to test, but that will need, like, I'll need more time to dig into them to see exactly how they work and to test them and stuff like that. If they have a MicroPython test bench I can put or something. Super Mario tune on a piezo speaker. Okay. Okay, I think it's been going on for some time already. Yeah, it's been like more than an hour and a half. So if anybody has anybody else that they want me to test right now, post it in the chats. Else, I will probably shut the stream off. And this evening, I will probably do some deeper tests, like characterizing the I/O more precisely, and maybe test some of the more involved project or stuff like that. I probably also need to assemble another board. But yeah, that was just a quick bring up. It's nice to see that, at first glance at least, the project seems to be working. So that proves that the standard cell library is absolutely working. The IOs are absolutely working. The flow seems to produce something that works. So yeah. Yeah, well, great work, Tamash, because he pretty much handled all the sorry, I meant yeah, Tamash pretty much did I I think like 90%. I'm not sure, but like of the work for this particular tape out and bringing all the flow and testing all of that, and actually submitting it. So good work, Tamash. It works. Okay. Well, if nobody else has anything else, I will close the stream now. Thanks everybody for joining. The recording will be available if you missed some part of you missed the beginning or anything like that. I just need to make it public once it's processed. Thank you everyone for joining, and yeah, see you on the Discord.